You know what I thought of? I go to the movies every week, so I have to tell you guys what I think. I am back to do another movie review. The movie that I just recently went to go see. If you love action, then this is a movie that you need to see. It is so good, you guys. I'm telling you. Back for another movie review. Now, after watching this video, if you like it, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more of my videos, go ahead and hit subscribe. And if you like Denzel Washington movies, Micheal B.Jordan, or anything you want to talk about in movies, go ahead and leave that in the comments for me. Now, you guys, the movie that I saw was A Journal for Jordan. That is the new Micheal B.Jordan movie that's directed by Denzel Washington. And at first glance, you look at it and you say, you know what, this is just a movie about love. You know, it's kind of like, why am I sitting on the love seat? I ain't in love. It doesn't matter because it's not just about that. It's about having loyalty and dedication to other people outside of yourself. It's about having your purpose in life, and that's what it was, his purpose. It's the story of Dana Canedy, and what she was an editor at the New York Times. Doing her career for so long, she finally wanted to have a family. She wanted to be in love, but she's just been so busy. We all know those workaholics. And she ran into Micheal B. Jordan's character, which plays Charles Monroe King. Now, mind you, this is a true story. And, you know, they fell in love. And the thing about it was that she had to see how much he cared about other people because he was a sergeant in the military. And he was dedicated. He was dedicated to his soldiers. He was a soldier first, and he thought of himself second. He thought of others before himself. He thought of his relationship second outside of being a soldier. So a couple times in this movie, I'm yelling. I'm like, there's no way I would stay with him doing stuff like that. Yes, but you know what? It does show in this movie that sometimes you have to tolerate other people. If you love somebody, you'll tolerate their imperfections. You'll work with their imperfections. And that's what I did like about this movie. It's not just about yourself. Betty White just passed not too long ago. And the main thing she said in one of her interviews is that you have to think about others. That was her secret of living so long, because if you only worry about yourself, that gets old really quick. So going back to this movie, I mean, she had to learn a lesson too, that it wasn't only about her and their relationship. She had to realize that this man is in command of over 105 soldiers, and his dedication is to them. He was never going to leave anybody hanging, and he was never going to not be there for another fellow officer. You would say, okay, don't tell me the end of the movie, but you know what? You could look at the trailer and see what the end of the movie. He passed away, and he left this journal for his son Jordan. And the thing that's going to make you cry, because if you got a heart that's pumping blood, you're going to cry during this movie, because he left a journal to tell his son, a 104-page journal, telling his son of what type of man to be. And it was the complete opposite, not the complete opposite, but it was trying to correct the things that he did wrong in life. He didn't know if this was going to be his last day or this was going to be his last tour. But he did know that he loved his son, he loved his girl, but first and foremost, he loved his country and he loved his fellow officers. So he wanted to make sure that he left that in a journal and left his son something rather than just the flag that they give you or just memories and pictures. He wanted to leave him something that he'll know that this was written directly to him. And I think that's the best part about this movie. The fact that it is based on a true story, that is their real names. Since she worked for the New York Times, she was able to get it published. After getting it published, she got such a good response. She went ahead and made it into a bestseller. And I just think that it's wonderful. I think it's wonderful to see people actually showing. I think it's wonderful because I feel that this movie needed to be made. Sometimes we forget the sacrifices that other people make to keep us safe. Whether you agree with the war, Iraq, or different things like that, you can look at firemen, you can look at policemen. A lot of people put their life on the line to keep us safe. And we're not entitled. We act so entitled. Yeah, that's what they're supposed to do. That's their job. Yeah, but it's kind of hard to do things like that. It's kind of hard to always put others in front of of yourself. And that's what this movie shows you. I think Denzel did a great job at directing it. It wasn't boring. It basically just showed relationships. And, you know, relationships are ups and downs. What I did like about it is that this happened in the late 90s going into the 2000s, the new millennium. So they didn't have so much social media. And what I liked about them not having social media, it reminded you of what it is to date somebody. It reminded you of what it is to really date somebody, to wait for them to come to the door before you see them. You know, everybody just wants to do the FaceTime. And it showed you, it's kind of like a guideline, or it kind of reminds you of what it's like when you first fell in love with that person, or if you like somebody, the butterflies that you get. And I think that that's a really, really cool part about this movie. And it does show you that sometimes you can find people when you're not even looking, and that's what happened. You can find love when you're not looking. It also shows you about being in touch with yourself, your heart, because sometimes when we're heartbroken, head, or any other thing that happens in your life, we begin to get cold. Our heart begins to get really cold, and we don't want to let other people in. But you know what? If you don't feel that pain, and if you don't open up and let other people in, you'll never feel love and you'll never feel joy again. And that's what I really got from this movie. You're going to enjoy it. It's going to make you think about not just him, but other loved ones or other fallen soldiers that have died trying to look out for other people, because he actually dies on a time that he didn't have to be there. He did something, he volunteered for this particular duty that he did, and he ended up passing away. And you know, you look and you're like, oh, that's so messed up, but he saved so many other people's lives. And the fact that he left that journal for Jordan, his son, is the best part about this. So with that being said, I'll see you next time.